Contenders, I'm your host, Peg Young. According to a recent report, people who fear new experiences may actually have shorter lives than those who embrace adventure. I guess it's a note for us to have bravery or courageous lives. And we have a few brave souls who are going to join us today. Let's welcome today's contenders onto our stage. Thank you for joining us. We have the Sean team, Heide and David Goode. And Sean is the name of your son, yes?
Yes, that's right.
And how old is your son?
6-month-old cheering section's over here in the crowd.
Okay, well, I actually can kind of hear him cheering for you. Okay, maybe not. Well, thank you for joining us today, Sean team. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Going against the Sean team, we have Twis, Shane Commolly, and Colm Smyth. And I hear that Twis means something in Irish.
It does. It means best or winner in colloquial Irish.
And you're hoping you'll win today?
Of course. Of course.
All right.
Now we
well,
will win.
Good luck to you, Twis team and Sean team. Let us begin our quiz. In our first section, we give you 10 multiple choice questions. If you get all 10 correct, we give you 50 bonus points. You get one chance at chance. You call out chance and we'll take away 2 of the incorrect choices to make things easier for you. Sean, you have first choice, Q, U, I, or Z sets of questions.
I.
Oh, question set I, number 1. Of the following, which is a pair of brothers? 1, Cain and Abel. 2, Wallace and Gromit. 3, Tom and Jerry. 4, Calvin and Hobbes.
No, you don't have to press. Just choose.
Cain and Abel.
1.
Number 1.
Yes, that is correct. Question number 2. Of the following, which is not made with the fruit of a plant? 1, coffee. 2, chocolate. 3, green tea. 4, sweet corn. If you're not sure, you can use chance.
Do you want to choose the chance?
Number 1, coffee.
Actually, coffee is from ground beans, which is the fruit of a plant. It is green tea that is made from the leaves of a plant. Sean, well, you know, with the lights and people behind you, I know you're a little bit nervous, but you'll get used to it. And we have lots of points ahead. So you end the section with 10 points. And now, Twis, it is your turn. You get to choose Q, U, or Z. Which one will you have?
Q. Okay.
All right, we will go with questions at Q, number 1. Of the following, what did Prometheus give to man according to Greek mythology? 1, fire. 2, poetry. 3, wine. 4, water.
I don't have a clue.
You can use chance if you want. Not sure. All right, we'll use chance. It's all right, you know. We'll take away 2 of the incorrect choices. Give you some time to acclimate. Please make your final selection, Twis team.
Well, okay. Colm says 1, fire.
That is the correct answer. He was actually treated pretty cruelly for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to man. We go to question 2.
Tough question.
Of the following, from the Wizard of Oz, what did Dorothy get from the Wicked Witch of the East? 1, broomstick. 2, magic wand. 3, shoes. 4, hat.
Number 3, shoes.
Tap of those shoes and she got to go home. And we go to question 3. Of the following, who is not an Irish celebrity? 1, Sinead O'Connor. 2, Pierce Brosnan. 3, Colin Farrell. 4, Laura Fiji.
4, Laura Fiji.
Yes, Laura Fiji is an artist from the Netherlands. And question 4. Of the following, what 2 planets orbit nearer to the Sun Then Earth. 1. Mercury and Venus. 2. Mars and Venus. 3. Jupiter and Mercury. 4. Mars and Jupiter.
Mercury and Venus. 1. Mercury and Venus.
Mars and Venus.
And I suppose you're very thankful that the judges heard the first answer?
Indeed.
Yes. Moving on to question number 5. Of the following, what does orangutan mean? 1. Orange ape. 2. Man of the jungle. 3. Grape ape. 4. Big ape.
Imagine orange ape. Yeah, we'll go for that.
Okay, 1 orange ape.
Actually, it is man of the jungle. And, well, Twis, despite, the difficulty you had in getting here, you do end this section with a lead. 40 points. Congratulations. And now we get to see how well you guys work together as a team. In this section, we give you 20 words in a pre-chosen category. 100 seconds are given to you to go through the entire list. You can pass on those you don't know or don't want to work on, but we do not go back to the words you passed on. Sean, if you're ready, please take your position next to me. Your category is photography.
Yes.
Are you into photography?
No,
But you kind of studied up on it for
not
quiz?
really. No.
Okay, so we're going to wing it. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Go.
This is an intense burst of light.
Flash.
This is we use for the camera. We put inside the camera.
Batteries.
No, I mean it's
Film.
okay. Where we are right now.
Stage.
I mean the place where we.
Highway round.
No, the pass. Eyeglasses.
Lens.
It's a color.
Blue.
Color. 2 colors. Dark and
Black and white.
yeah. This is what we do to our pictures.
You take them. Put them in an album. Save them.
No, what we do to our pictures. Film.
Processing. Developing.
What I want for Christmas.
Digital camera.
These are tiny holes.
Perforations.
Lens opening.
Aperture.
Slightly focus image.
Blurred.
Pass. Camera obscura.
Darkroom.
Stand.
Tripod.
Okay. Pass. Founder of Kodak.
Eastman.
Not much light. Lumen. Too much light.
Overexposure.
Pass.
You know this, but we couldn't give you focus because you used the
Yeah.
word focus in your hint. You end the section with 120 points. And now, Twis, it's your turn. You chose category physics.
Yeah, we didn't have a choice.
Well,
Nothing else was good.
and so you went for physics, and did you study up at all?
Not really, no.
So you're going to wing it.
Of course.
Good luck. Are you ready?
I am.
Go.
Gravity. Inventor of gravity.
Newton.
Moving. M.
Momentum.
No. Something picture. M. Picture.
Movie.
Moving.
Moving picture beginning with N.
Yep. 6 letters. Pass. E equals MC squared guy.
Einstein.
What did Newton invent?
Gravity.
The E in E equals MC squared.
Speed.
E.
Speed time. Velocity. E equals MC squared equals time by Mulla.
I have no in the morning.
Energy.
I haven't a clue. Pass.
Oh, good lord.
You have power stations. Chernobyl.
Electricity? Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Reactor.
You plug into the wall. This comes out. This
Socket.
No,
plug.
you plug the socket into the wall. This comes out and it runs things. It runs TV.
Electricity. That's it.
Marry somebody. Marry C.
Curie.
That's it. Always stays the same in programming. C++. Always stays the same.
Static.
No, never changes. C.
Constant.
Yeah. Stephen, the guy in the wheelchair. The theory of
Relativity.
tsunami.
Tidal wave.
Not tidal.
Monsoon.
For winging it, you did a pretty good job. Perhaps we might mention that Newton didn't invent gravity, rather, yes, thought up what it is, gravity. But did a great job. You managed to maintain your lead of 150 points. Congratulations. And now let's welcome Mr. David Hwang onto the stage.
Hey, Eun-young. How's
Hi.
it going?
It's going good.
I want to welcome you guys to the Contenders. I just had the pleasure of playing with your baby. 6 months, so cute, so cute. But I don't think it likes me, or I don't think it likes guys.
He.
I'm sorry, it. Because it was crying every time. Like I got around, another fellow came around. But also, anyway, Twis, welcome to our show. If anything happens, I don't think you'll leave our stage without ever forgetting that Prometheus brought fire to man. Anyways, though, if I may, the rules for this next section. It's a round of non-multiple choice questions. The first team to buzz in will get the first chance to answer. If that team gets it wrong, that chance will be given to the other team. Now, if you guys both get it wrong, we're going to help you out with the aid of a spelling hint. There's 15 questions in all, 30 points per question, and you have 5 seconds to answer each one. Got it?
Let's have question number 1.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. I'm still getting over a cold, so my voice is a little messed up, so please bear with me. Question number 1 is about music. Last month, this rock...
Twist.
Mick Jagger.
Sean, it's your chance to answer, and he'll finish the question.
Last month, this rock band's legendary lead singer became Sir. His hits with the blank include the album Their Satanic Majesty's Request and singles Satisfaction and Brown Sugar. The award put the 60-year-old Mick Jagger on a ceremonial par with pop knight Sir Elton John and Sir Paul McCartney. What is this rock group?
Rolling Stones?
Sean?
The Rolling Stones?
And with that, Sean, you have even the score at 150 points. To question number 2.
Question number 2 is about country. Recently in this country, because of the increase of young and old unmarried men and women, there have been social problems, including a quick decline in birth rates. What is this country which is gathering international attention as it will hold a national referendum in March?
A national referendum in March. This is big news internationally. Let's take a look at the hint. It's Twist.
No, it's not. I was going to say Canada, but it's not.
Okay. And Sean, you have 5 seconds. Taiwan is the country that we were looking for. And the score remains even at 150 points. Moving on to question number 3 now.
All right, question number 3 is about health. Migraines more often occur to women, as 75% of all people who suffer from migraines are women. Many women suffer from migraines when the change in this is severe. This is a sex hormone that primarily influences the...
Twist.
Estrogen?
Yes, estrogen is the female hormone. Twist, you've got the lead. Let's move on to question 4.
I like your fan back there, by the way, Twis. As a sign.
Yeah, you brag.
All right, question number 4 is about instrument. For centuries, experts have debated whether special varnishes or wood treatments were the secret to the rich resonance of this. They offer a new theory. The wood developed special acoustic properties as it was growing because of an extended period of long winters and cool summers. What is the name of this world-famous violin made by Italian?
Sean.
Stradivarius.
Yes, it is. This violin maker is very famous, and apparently the colder the temperature when wood grows, the harder it is. So let's move on to question 5.
Question number 5 is about politics. This term was popularized by Sir Winston Churchill for the imaginary boundary dividing Europe between the capitalist West and the communist East.
Sean.
Iron Curtain.
And Sean, you move into the lead. This is a very close game. Let's move on to the next question.
Question number 6 is about word. This name originated in the 19th century when Spanish irregulars and civilians carried on resistance.
Sean.
Gorilla.
From Garu. Sean, you are increasing your lead. Let's move on to question number 7.
Question number 7 is about sports. In this sport, competitors cross-country ski over a course and stop at intervals to shoot at targets with rifles. The first competitions took place in the 1700s. What is this sport, which is an event in the Winter Olympic Games?
Sean.
Alpine.
Twis, 5 seconds. Let's take a look at the hint. There are 2 events that you have to do, 2 things you have to do in this event. Twis.
Triathlon.
Biathlon is what we were going for, and we move on to question number 8.
Question number 8 is about entertainment. This actress married Coldplay singer Chris Martin.
Twis.
Paltrow.
And with that twist, you've caught up. Are you a big fan of Paltrow?
No.
Coldplay.
Stop copying. First
right.
the sideburns, then.
Okay. You're not. You don't think she's beautiful,
Oh, she is.
Oh, she is,
beautiful.
yeah.
but you're not a big fan.
Not particularly.
And now let's see what happens with question number 9.
Question number 9 is about message. On December 12, 2003, British tourist Howard Holdsworth was rescued from a remote beach in the north of Western Australia after an aircraft spotted this message.
Twis.
SOS.
And Twis, you've got the lead, and we move on to question number 10.
Question number 10 is about food. Low carbohydrate, high protein diets, including those on the popular, if controversial, Atkins diet, adopted by millions of people hoping to lose weight, have contributed to sharply rising this food's prices. High in cholesterol and fat, this once suffered from a reputation as artery cloggers. What is this food?
Sean.
Meat.
Twis, 5 seconds. Twis.
Cheese.
Why don't we take a look at the hint? You can separate this. Sean.
Eggs.
Yes. And you know, it's just the egg yolk that's high in cholesterol and fat. If you just eat the whites, it's pretty good for you. It's a good source of protein. Let's move on to 11.
Question number 11 is about medicine. A Canadian company wants to use poison from this fish, a substance more toxic than cyanide, to help cancer patients suppress pain or to wean heroin addicts off their habit. It is known to gourmets as a source of the sometimes deadly Asian delicacy.
Twis.
Pufferfish.
Yes. Or blowfish is what we would gone for. And have you ever had the delicacy?
No.
Well, if you don't get an expert to do the carving for you, apparently you could die.
Yes.
So you have to be careful. Twis, you are once again in the lead with 300 points. Sean, you're just 30 points behind, so it is still a very close game. Let's move on to the next question.
Question number 12 is about nature. A lively, illegal trade in this is now flourishing in 3 populous states in West Africa, conservation groups say. They found more of this in Nigeria, the blank coast.
Twis.
Ivory.
Twis, you are increasing your lead. Let's move on to question 13.
Question 13 is about literature. The original manuscript of Blank is due to be saved for the UK after a £3 million grant was awarded to a prestigious library. The writer had been accompanied by her husband, the romantic poet Percy Bysshe Shelley, their friend and fellow writer Lord Byron, and a doctor called Polidori. What is this horror classic of Mary Shelley's?
Mary Shelley's Twis.
Frankenstein.
Yes. Moving on to 14 now.
Question 14 is about plane. Survivors of the U.S. attack on Hiroshima have expressed anger at a U.S. museum.
Sean.
Enola Gay.
That is the name of the B-29 bomber. And let's move on to our last question.
Our last question, number 15, is about environment. Western Europe might actually get colder as a result of this.
Twis.
Greenhouse effect?
Sean, it is your chance to answer. He'll finish the question.
Because the melting Arctic ice cap is cooling off the warm ocean current that is largely responsible for Europe's mild weather, scientists and environmentalists said. It is often discussed as a recent chronic environmental problem, as it has to do with the Kyoto Protocol. What is this?
Sean?
Global warming.
Yes, that's the answer we were looking for. And that's a very strong ending to a very close game. However, Twis, you win and you get to go on to the finals. Congratulations. Well, Sean, it was great having you on our show. I know you have supporters, including your little son who's watching. What do you want to say?
I'd just like to say thanks for having us, and thanks to my employer for allowing me to take the day off. And good luck.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us today. And Twis, you're going to go against our 2-time winner, the Garu team. Do you have any special things planned? A tactic?
No.
No?
Just hoping for easy questions.
All right. Well, I don't know about the easy questions part, but we'll be right back after this with Twis. Welcome back, the Garu team. Peter and Erin Garnhum, it's good to have you guys back.
Hi.
And Twis, you get to go against the couple once again in the final section. So Garu, this is your attempt at win number 3 in a row.
Yes.
And so how do you feel to be this far?
Ooh, very lucky so far. And we kind of enjoy prizes we have already, so we'll keep our fingers crossed, try again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck to you, Garu team, and good luck to you, Twis, as well. Let's move on to our final section. In our final section, we give you 5 categories of questions, 5 questions each, 10 to 50 points. If you get the first question correct, you get to choose the next question. Now, this is a buzz-in category, so please only share your answers with us after you have buzzed in and I've called out your team names. What are today's categories?
Okay, today's categories are communications, creepy crawly, military leaders, think, number, coffee break.
And I get to choose the first question, and I'll choose communications for 10 points. This person was on the road out of Spain and on his way to Paris for financial backing in early 1492. When? Garu?
Christopher Columbus.
Yes. The Spanish King Ferdinand called him back and said, no, don't go anywhere else, I'll give you the money. And then he went on to discover America. And so, Garu, it's good to see you on the board. You get to choose.
How about military leaders for 10?
Military leaders for 10 points. Carthaginian General Hannibal is best known for his march on Rome from Spain in 218 to 217 BC. To reach Rome, he marched over the Pyrenees and then over the Alps with an army of around 40,000, including cavalry and a considerable number of these animals. Garu.
Elephants.
Yes. And it's also a title of a Charlie Chaplin movie, if that interests you. Twis, I encourage you to take a chance and buzz in quickly to go against the Garu team. They're pretty good. How do you get to choose?
Military leaders for 20?
Sure, why not?
Military leaders, 20 points. In the late 12th to early 13th centuries, Genghis Khan created one of history's largest land empires, which stretched across all of Asia. Genghis Khan succeeded his father as the country's chief when still a child and faced many challenges to his position. He defeated these insurrections and, through his military genius, united the nomadic tribes of this. And, Twis?
Mongolia.
Yes. He is a native of Mongolia. And with that, Twis, you have even the score at 20 points. You get to choose.
Think numbers for 10.
Think numbers. 10 points.
This 14th century Italian book, which inspired Chaucer, Shakespeare, and Balzac, remains one of the most enjoyable anthologies of short stories ever written. Some young unmarried nobles decide to wait out the Florentine plague in their country estates, amusing each other every night with earthly stories, some outright bawdy, others pointing to a moral. What is the book of Boccaccio's collection of stories told by 10 young people?
Boccaccio's collection of stories told by 10. Garu.
Is it the Decameron?
Yes, it is. We've brought up the book a few times on our quiz, and Garu, you have 30 points. You have the lead of 10 points, and you get to choose.
Okay. Well, I love coffee, so let's go to the middle of that category for coffee break for 30.
Coffee break, 30 points.
Hello everyone at the Contenders. We're the baristas for Cafe Artigiano. I remember that there was a question about baristas on the Contenders before. A barista in Italian means a person who makes coffee inside the bar. It refers to a professional who makes espresso.
Do you like coffee? How much do you know about it? Let's solve some questions about coffee.
This city is Yemen's most renowned historic port. It was long famous as Arabia's chief coffee exporting center. This term and variations of the word have entered European languages as a synonym for the high-quality coffee of the species Coffea arabica, still grown in the Yemen highlands and formerly exported through the town. What is the city's name, which is also the name of a dark brown, strong-tasting coffee from Yemen?
Twis?
Espresso.
No, actually, Garu, 5 seconds.
It's got like S.
This actually is sometimes used to describe coffee that has kind of a chocolatey twist.
Mocha.
Yes. Twist, you've got the lead and you get to choose.
Creepy crawlies for 50.
Creepy crawly, 50 points.
There are one-celled creatures that have the properties of both plants and animals. An example...
Twist.
Amoeba?
And Garu, it is your chance to answer. He'll finish the question.
An example will be this, which propels itself rapidly through the water like an animal by means of undulating snake-like appendages. Also, it contains chlorophyll, a substance that is as characteristic for plants as blood is for animals. Its name from modern Latin literally means well, eyeball, perhaps from its reddish eye spot. What is this?
Garu, 5 seconds. Garu.
Is it paramecium?
What we're looking for is a word that tells you that this creature has the properties of both plants and animals. Think back to flipping through the bio books that you had. I'm going to give you both teams 5 seconds. Twis.
Plankton?
Garu, 5 seconds. We're looking for euglena. Tough word.
That wouldn't have happened, no.
It's buried way,
No,
yes.
never.
Why don't we go with creepy crawly, 10 points.
Okay.
This animal sleeps a lot. In addition to several months of winter hibernation, it crawls into its shell to get out of the hot sun, which dries them, or heavy rain, which waterlogs them. Desert blanks may even doze for 3 or 4 years.
Twis.
Snails?
Yes. And it moves by contracting its muscles, which is very interesting. And Twis, you get to choose.
Go on, you go.
Creepy crawlies, 40.
Not that one.
Creepy crawly, 40 points.
For 40 points, this person saved France's silkworm industry when the industry in southern France was dealt a staggering blow by a disease that was killing the silkworms. The call went out for him. His solution on locating a tiny parasite infesting the silkworms and the mulberry leaves that were fed to them was that drastic but rational. Destroy all infested worms and infected food, and the industry will be saved. He founded the science of microbiology. Who is this?
Garu.
Louis Pasteur?
Yes. He's famous for vaccines as well. And Garu, you've got the lead, 70 versus Twis is 60. Very close game. And Garu, you get to choose.
Military leaders for 30, please.
Military leaders, 30 points. In about 500 BC, this author described Chinese weapons, command systems, communications, discipline, strategy, and other military matters in this book. Garu.
Sun Tzu, The Art of War.
Yes. It is the earliest known military treatise. We would have given you Sun Tzu in the end, but Garu, you are increasing your lead. 100 versus Twis is 60. It's a very close game still, and you get to choose.
Military leaders, 40 points.
Military leaders, 40 points. This king turned the country into a major military power while courting the cultural elite of the day. His rule was autocratic, but he engaged in the study of philosophy, history, poetry, and French literature. He often wrote in French and was a gifted musician. Which Prussian despotic 18th century ruler and conqueror also wrote political philosophy and corresponded with famous French philosopher Twis?
Leopold?
Garu, 5 seconds. Garu.
Frederick the Great?
Yes, and he corresponded with his friend Voltaire. And Garu, you get to choose.
Military leaders for 50. Let's finish it off.
Closing off the category, military leaders, 50 points. While most of Western Europe focused its attention on the recently discovered Americas, this person conquered much of the Balkans, Northern Africa, and the Middle East, and made his empire the ruling power on the Mediterranean Sea. Which sultan extended the Ottoman Empire far into Europe, Northern Africa, and the Middle East, raising the empire to the height of its power? He led the Ottoman Empire in the 16th century to its zenith of power and splendor. just name the ruler that you remember of the period from the region. Garu.
Abdullah.
Twis, 5 seconds. We're looking for Suleiman I or Suleiman the Magnificent, the one name for me I remember for the region.
Yeah, now I do.
Why don't we go with coffee break, 10 points.
Well, this question is multiple choice. If you like coffee, this will be easy, and even if you're not a fan of coffee, it shouldn't be too difficult. Of the following, which is not made on an espresso base? Number 1, latte. Number 2, cappuccino. Number 3, cocoa. Number 4,
Twis.
Cocoa.
And Twis, you're catching up. 70 versus Garu's 140, and you get to choose.
Communications for 20.
Communications, 20 points. Paris's best-known monument, the Eiffel Tower, was saved from demolition in 1909 because this, mounted at the top of the nearly 1,000-foot high structure, was of great importance to French radio telegraphy. This is a component of radio, television, and radar systems. Twis.
Satellite?
Garu.
Antenna?
Yes. It's attached to the top of the Eiffel Tower. And Garu, you get to choose.
Okay. What do you think?
I don't know. This one.
That's communications for 30.
Communications, 30 points. As this approached the moon, the onboard computer panicked and repeatedly stating that it could not handle the data, and astronauts took over the landing procedure. This spacecraft, in July 1969, Garu?
Apollo 11.
Yes, it is. And they managed the lunar landing, and Neil Armstrong became the first man to walk on the moon. And Garu, you get to choose.
Well, we're doing okay with communications, so 40 points.
All right, communications, 40 points. In 1962, the United States discovered that Khrushchev had set up nuclear missile bases in Cuba. President Kennedy demanded that the USSR remove the missiles, and after a few days of suspense, the Soviets agreed to do so. Teetering on the brink of nuclear war, both superpowers leapt back in alarm. Afterward, Kennedy and Khrushchev established a blank. What is this? Twis.
Hotline?
Yes, it is. Emergency communications between the USSR and the US, and it's also called the red telephone. And Twis, you're catching up. 110 versus Garu's 190, and you get to choose.
Why not you?
Communications 50.
Closing the category of communications, 50 points. This kind of cable first came into operation in the mid-1970s. Twis.
Fiber optic?
Yes, it is. It is a transfer, it's a thin, transparent wire for the transfer of data, voice, and images by the passage of light. Twis, you've moved up to 160 versus Garu's lead of 190 points, and you get to choose.
Creepy crawly for 20.
Creepy crawly, 20 points.
When this worm lays the fertilized eggs that will develop into new ones, only one of the newly laid actually survives. The first new one that emerges from her cell destroys all others in their cells and thereafter reigns alone. She is a large, fully developed female worm that lays eggs continually.
Twis.
Silkworm?
Garu, it is your chance to answer. He'll finish the question.
She is usually the only fertile female in the colony. What is this?
Garu, 5 seconds. Garu?
The queen? The queen ant? Queen worm?
All right, we are looking for the only female who is fertile in her colony, and, well, she kills off all of her competition when she is the first one to become this. We often call a woman who is at the head or most important member of her group this. Garu.
The queen bee?
Yes, it is. And Garu, you get to choose.
Creepy crawlies for 30.
Creepy crawly, 30 points.
The reproductive cycle of some worms is in phase with this. The sex organs of adult palolo worms, which lives in water, mature once a year at about the same time of day.
Twis.
The moon?
Yeah. And Twis, you're up to 190 versus Garu's 210, just 20 points behind, and you get to choose.
Think numbers for 20.
All right, think number, 20 points.
Located in an arid valley surrounded by rocky hills, this city has had religious and commercial significance for centuries. It is the birthplace of the Prophet Muhammad, the founder of Islam, the center of pilgrimage for the Muslims.
Garu.
Mecca.
Yes, in Mecca. And Garu, you've moved on to 230 versus Twis's 190 points, and you get to choose.
Okay, think number for 30.
Think number, 30 points.
All right, listen carefully to the following 4 sentences and give us the appropriate sum of the numbers that fit into each blank, okay? Each team will only have 2 chances. Blank, Wonders of the World. Agatha Christie's novel, blank, Little Indians. The blank, Zodiacal Constellations. Beethoven's Symphony number blank, which accumulates in a choral finale.
Garu.
39.
Twis. 5 seconds. Twis.
18.
Once again, we're looking for blank Wonders of the World plus blank Little Indians plus blank Zodiacal Constellations plus Beethoven's Symphony number blank, which has a choral finale at the end. Garu.
38.
Yes, it is. Because there are 7 wonders of the world, 10 little Indians, dozen zodiacal constellations, and 9 is the number, Beethoven's Symphony number 9.
We got the first 2 transposed. We thought it was 8.
8 wonders and 9 Indians.
Indians. Lucky, very lucky.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
And Garu, you get to choose.
Okay, think number for 40.
Think number, 40 points.
That was a tough question, wasn't it? Okay. Here we go. Set in a perpetually gloomy, unnamed city, this film follows a retiring police detective as he...
Garu.
7.
Yes. And the 7 sins are gluttony, greed, sloth, envy, wrath, pride, and lust. And it was a very moving film for me.
Gluttony is my favorite.
Unfortunately...
Yeah, having to move up. Where would you cut off the pound? I'm like thinking, yeah, the love handle is a good one. Yeah. And Garu, you get to choose.
Okay, think number for 50.
Okay, think number, closing the category, 50 points.
You mentioned gluttony, but for me, I'm guilty of all 7, unfortunately. I'm the owner of them all. Help me, Lord. Okay, here we go. The last question. They were venerated throughout Greece, but more so in those areas with many wells and springs. The area of Boeotia near Helicon remained a favorite place of the blank, where they were more venerated than elsewhere. In Greek mythology, they are the 9 goddesses, daughters of the god Zeus and of Mnemosyne, the goddess of memory. They inspired and presided over the different creative arts.
Garu?
The Muses.
Yes, it is the Muses. And we have 3 questions left. Which would you like?
Coffee break for 20.
Coffee break, 20 points.
The rarest and most expensive coffee in the world is the Kopi Luwak. Coffee beans are actually the seed of a cherry-like fruit grown on this country's island. An animal called a Paradoxurus lives on these islands amongst the coffee trees. It is in these coffee plantations that the animal helps itself to the ripest cherries on the trees. Which country contains the origin of Kopi Luwak and the islands of Sumatra and Java?
Garu?
Indonesia.
Yes, it is. And Kopi Luwak is so rare that there's perhaps only as little as 500 pounds or 227 kilograms of it available per year.
Wow.
So
to get some of that.
I wonder if it tastes better.
Yeah. Really curious.
Yeah. But to get your hands on just these 500 pounds, like a pound of this 500-pound batch, would be pretty tough, huh? And how do you get to choose between two?
Okay, for 40 points.
All right, coffee break, 40 points.
Recently, you can find this on the menu at most coffee shops. Some recipes put coffee in this, but originally it doesn't contain coffee. This is simply the word for tea in Hindi and several other Asian.
Chai?
It is chai. The spicy, milky variety of India is masala chai, and another recipe calls for cinnamon, nutmeg, honey, and other spices with milk. And we have just one question left on the board now. Coffee break, 50 points.
This person supposedly drank up to 50 cups of coffee per day. He, who drank copious amounts of coffee throughout his life, was once warned that the beverage was a slow poison. It must be slow, the philosopher replied, for I've been drinking it for 65 years and I'm not yet dead. He's the French philosopher, writer, and wit, noted for his attacks on injustice.
Garu.
Voltaire.
Yes, it is. He's noted for works such as Candide and the Philosophical Dictionary. And Garu, with that, you have won yet again, 3 times in a row. Congratulations.
Various prizes are awaiting our winning contenders. Your first win will take you on a trip to Jeju Island. Your second win to Japan. Your third win will take you to China. And on your fourth win, you'll win a trip to Southeast Asia. On your fifth win, a trip to Hawaii. Your sixth win, a trip to the United States. And on your seventh win, you'll take the grand prize of a tour of Europe. We hope many of you join us.
Twis, it was a very close game for the most part. So what do you want to say to your supporters?
I would just like to say thank you to everybody. We've got a few names to mention. We've got Timmy and Cassandra, Sarah, Anne, Katie,
and
Linda,
and our good friend in Sangokdong, Mr. Kim.
All right.
And of course, our #1 supporter.
Right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Okay.
And Garu team, you have won 3 times in a row. How are you feeling?
Still nervous. He's relieved. I'm still nervous. So.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Nervous because you see yourself going towards Europe?
I have to come back here again and do it again. Still nervous.
Well, congratulations on your 3rd win in a row.
Thank you.
So Garu has won 3 so far. Let's see what happens next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.